He said, I dare one of these to show up to the track meet today. It got 667 likes.
This is evil. In today's show, we are going to be talking about the deceptive tactics being used in order to raise money for a criminal. Yes, we're talking about a young man who is sitting behind bars today as we speak, charged with first-degree murder because he committed an egregious, senseless crime. We're going to be covering that and so much more in today's show. But before we get there, I want to address some of the comments that I've been seeing. I'm not going to waste too much time on it because it's obviously ridiculous. There's this quote that I live by: don't wrestle with pigs because you'll both get dirty and they'll like it. And so I have no reason to wrestle with anybody. So I'll be just sharing positive comments that I've been receiving on TikTok, supporting what we're doing on this channel. Because at the end of the day, we're all about the truth. And of course, some people are upset because I'm doing a great job covering this story. It's not my fault that over 100,000 people have tuned in to hear the truth, to share their thoughts on the truth. And we will not stop. So for those of you trying to intimidate, trying to make it to where people don't hear the truth, that won't be happening. We're going to continue to share the facts. If you don't like it, that's on you. I'm Tamera and you're watching the Tamera Nealy Show. I would like to welcome back all my returning subscribers. And if you're new here, I would like to let you know I'm happy you're here. So let's get started with today's show. Let me recap the story. Karmelo Anthony, a 17-year-old young man who went to a track meet that he wasn't supposed to be at, who had previously been suspended for carrying a knife in school. He went to a track meet and he was asked to move out of a tent that his school was not even in. He went to the rival school's tent and he was asked to move. There was a conversation, there was an altercation that happened. He decided to instigate the altercation that he was having with victim Austin Metcalf. And because of that altercation, Austin Metcalf was then stabbed in the heart by Karmelo Anthony. And he is now being charged with first-degree murder. That's the story. That's the facts. Okay? So we just recapped that. We're going to get into exposing the deceptive tactics that are being used to promote this damaging image of Austin Metcalf. And we're going to expose the deceptive tactics being used to raise money for a criminal, a violent criminal. Before we get there, I want to share some of the comments that I've been receiving on TikTok. Shout out to the TikTok community. You can follow me on TikTok at the.tamera.nealy. So here in this comment, and I only am going to post like one comment or like 5 comments, but there are literally thousands of comments on TikTok about this on my TikTok. So you're welcome to go check out the comment section yourself. But here, this comment says, thank you for this timing clarification and rationalization in your response. One person says, very well said, young lady. Continue speaking facts. Another person says, wow, some truth, with an American flag. Another person, this is kind of funny. I wanted to add this and share this. Kind of hilarious. She goes, she's making valid points, but am I the only one that thinks this looks like an AI generated video visually, or am I just getting old and can't tell? That's hilarious. I respond back, it's not AI. I'm a real person, LOL. This was a hilarious comment. I kind of needed a laugh. Laughter is medicine to the soul, so kind of needed that laugh. But no, I'm just doing a great job covering this story. Pam Jones says, you are 1000% right. And finally, somebody commented this, and it was kind of funny. You're out here teaching great parenting lessons. I wasn't expecting that. So I wanted to share a couple posts with you from my TikTok community where there's being an exchange of dialogue because it needs to happen. There's another side of this story and other people who are on the other side of the story, and they are putting out a lot of content. I mean, every single minute of the day, it seems like I'm seeing people defending Karmelo Anthony. So he has people putting out videos. And I am one of the people who is putting out videos in support of justice for Austin Metcalf. Just like you're seeing Megyn Kelly talk about this, it's like you're seeing people like Rod Smith talk about it, and just like you're seeing people like Officer Tatum talking about it. I actually met Officer Tatum a couple years ago, and you know, something that he told me was, Tamera, keep sharing the truth. They may not like it, but keep sharing it. And so that's exactly what we're going to do on this channel, is we're going to continue sharing the truth. So I want to share that if I was a person who was doing this for likes and doing this for clicks and things like that, I wouldn't be sharing the most unpopular opinions on the internet. I'm doing this because the truth matters. I'm doing this because there are people out there who are starving, who are desperate to hear the truth, looking for somebody to help them know that they're not alone. Because in this world, conservatives are censored. They're silenced every single day because they're sharing the truth with people, and people don't like it. So who's ready to get into today's story? I'm ready. Let's move on to the next segment. Let's go ahead and get into the video.
And then I said, wait, you had media outlets posting negative pictures of Karmelo Anthony. You even had these type of black...
What? I want to know what media has been posting negative pictures about Karmelo Anthony. I haven't seen it. The media has been resharing the posts that Karmelo Anthony put out about himself. He has been reportedly showing gang signs on social media, posting pictures with guns, and then they have the nerve to put that next to a photo of Austin Metcalf and his brother with guns. And the difference between those two photos is the fact that Austin Metcalf and his brother were actually in hunting gear. They were hunting. And so that's why they had taken pictures with guns. They're trying to make Austin out to seem like he's a thug, as if he's a criminal, which is really reverse psychology, because the real criminal here is Karmelo Anthony. Yes, they're going to post pictures of him in a with his mugshot photos because he committed a crime. So now this man is about to sit here and call. We'll just let you guys watch this.
People posting those same Karmelo Anthony. You even had these type of black people posting those same negative pictures. And like I always tell y'all.
So, sir, you are sitting here saying that we're coons, because we're sharing the truth? If that's the case, then call me what you want to. Because I'm on the side of the truth. I'm on the side of the facts. The fact is that Austin Metcalf should still be here today, but he's not, because there was somebody named Karmelo Anthony who could not control his anger, who acted senseless, who didn't have a regard for life, and took that opportunity away from him. Now Austin Metcalf's family will not see him graduate high school, will not see him go off to college, will not see him get married, will not see him hit some of the amazing life milestones that many parents look forward to seeing. That is exactly why people like me are reporting on this, because we don't want, first of all, people to be thinking that all black people are against the truth, because that is not it. That's not right. There are black people who obviously have common sense. Some black people are even watching this who have common sense and who know the truth and believe that the truth is what sets people free. There are black people out there who are not supporting this, which I will be plugging in videos of other black people who are saying the exact same thing that I'm saying.
To explain to me why y'all trying to make this boy a victim. Why did Karmelo have a knife? That's because he was a criminal. There's also pictures of him holding guns, holding up his middle finger. I don't care if he got good grades. He went up there with a bad intent. I believe he went up there with the intent to harm somebody. Because who takes knife to attract me?
All right, due to all the threats I keep getting in my DMs because you guys are claiming that I'm against the community for not defending Anthony to the left, I'm going to reread everything that's been updated. The facts, they did not know each other. It's not about a phone, not about a girl, not about a gang. Another fact, that autopsy report is fake. Another fact, that police report y'all got off of Facebook is fake. Another fact, Anthony admitted to doing it, but he asked the officer, would this be considered self-defense?
Our community, we have some people, our people, they don't like themselves. Our people, they don't like their people. It is what it is. But when it comes to me, I'm riding for my people 100%. But I noticed something.
Did you
None
notice
of them
that?
shared.
Let's replay what he said, because he's one of the people who are responsible for this foolishness as far as people raising money for Karmelo Anthony.
Riding for my people 100%.
Notice
but I noticed
what he
something.
said.
None of
I got to replay that again.
our people, they don't like their people. It is what it is. But when it comes to me, I'm riding for my people 100%.
So did you hear what he said? It's about his people. It's this sense of tribalism, this sense of racism that some black people are pushing. They're making this into a race issue. He's saying that he's going to be supporting his people 100%, no matter if his people are wrong. This is what's wrong with the mindset of so many black people.
But I noticed something. None of them shared this picture of the twins. And how ironic that this is the Instagram. He said, I dare one of these to show up to the track meet today. It got 667 likes.
This is evil. This is evil. The fact that this man, knowingly, I'm sure he knows that this was not Austin Metcalf's account. I'm sure he knows that. But he would knowingly post this lie to get black people riled up, to get people in general, because I see so many different people from different backgrounds supporting this foolishness, to get people riled up around a lie. And we know who the father of lies is. We know who the one is who comes to steal, kill, and destroy. Kill just like Karmelo Anthony did days ago. We're not believing this foolishness. And I'm going to show you, I will plug in Austin Metcalf's real Instagram account. Because on this channel, we're about sharing the truth. Some people wonder why I have to get on here and post, why I have to get on here and show you the facts. Because there are lies going around that are not true. And I refuse to sit on the sidelines. God has given me a gift. And the Bible tells us that your gifts will make room for you. Read the Bible if you haven't already. I didn't know that over 100,000 people would tune in to hear the truth. I had no idea. I just started my TikTok like a month ago. And I wasn't even going to get on TikTok because but 3 people in the past couple months told me, you need to get on TikTok. You need to get on TikTok. I've been hearing people tell me this for years, but in the past month, 3 people have been telling me that. And finally I was obedient. One of my good friends called me. She commentates and she said, Tamera, why are you not on TikTok? You know how it just takes you just a couple more minutes to share. You work so hard on this show. You spend day in and day out. You're perfecting long form content, which is something that so many people can't do. And it won't take you very much time to clip those videos and share them on TikTok. Do that because people need to hear the truth. People need to hear your voice. Just like one of the comments that I showed you earlier, where a man said, we want to hear your voice. That's why I talk about this. So for those of you in my comment section over here trying to be a detractor, trying to be a distraction, you will not succeed. We will continue to share the truth on this channel.
Make that make sense. Why nobody posted that? Why nobody talking about this? Why is everybody acting like these twins were angels?
Nobody's acting like the twins were angels. We're covering the facts of the case. One of the twins was senselessly murdered. That's what we're covering. We're not making up stories. We're just covering the facts. And then you have people like this guy who's spreading this foolishness, and y'all want nobody to say anything about it? Miss me with that. How Austin Metcalf's accused killer is racking in cash for his legal defense. As sick conspiracy theories about victims spread hate, fear, and division. The person the account who posted this is the New York Post. The New York Post posted this. And in this thing, let me blow it up because I know y'all won't be able to see if I don't. So hopefully y'all can see that. It says the Texas teen charged with fatally stabbing high school football star Austin Metcalf raked in nearly $200,000 in legal defense in a matter of hours after posts impersonating officials spread fake news about the killing, including painting the victim as a violent, drug-addicted bully. The victim, Austin Metcalf. The person who should still be here today. The person whose father was on the news 3 days ago, crying out about the fact that his son was brutally murdered and his twin brother held him in his arms, trying to hold the blood in from stopping the blood from gushing out. We saw this 3 days ago, and it's sad because it's so sad to me because it's like people have become so desensitized because they see so much on the media that it's like they don't realize these are real people. Their real lives affected by this. That is exactly why I wanted to reach out to people who knew Austin, hear about his story, what type of person he was. That's exactly why I wanted to hear from people who are his classmates about these events that happened. He was a real person. He had a bright future ahead of him. He was a 4.0 student. He was the MVP of his football team. Let's focus on the real facts of the matter. Austin Metcalf should still be here today. So it says after posts impersonating officials spread fake news about the killing, including painting the victim as a violent drug addict. And I want to also add that the people affected by this, keep in mind a lot of them are high schoolers. This was a traumatizing event for so many people. Austin Metcalf's family, his community, the Frisco community, the children who watch this happen, they're traumatized. They won't forget this. Real people have been affected. Don't forget about that when you're covering and you're spreading fake news, when you're spreading fake social media posts. Frisco Police Chief David Shilson warned the Dallas suburb that online trolls are trying to sow discord over the racially charged case, which shocked the nation after Metcalf's family said he died in the arms of his identical twin brother after a very brief altercation. Notice very brief altercation with Karmelo Anthony. If this was self-defense, why did Karmelo Anthony stab Austin Metcalf and then run off? Somebody please tell me why he did that if it was in self-defense.
Living of Austin Metcalf at the track meet by Karmelo Anthony was absolutely not a case of self-defense. People are trying to make it a race thing, saying that he was racist and that they were going to jump Karmelo and that they were bullying him and that he was defending himself. And I'm going to show you why the law is not on your side with that, and that is going to be hard to prove in court. Not to mention, if you are trying to defend this, you are a sick individual. But anyway, let's get to the facts. Yes, it is true that Texas does have laws in place of self-defense and stand your ground. However, there are stipulations to that that, and I'm going to show you why this case does not meet the criteria to be able to hold a self-defense case in court. Now, according to Texas Penal Code Chapter 9, Section 31, a person is justified in using force to protect themselves against another person if they feel like they are an immediate threat to them and their safety. Now, this is deemed reasonable by number one, if they did not provoke the other person, and number two, they were not already engaging in other criminal activity other than Class C misdemeanor. Obviously know that Karmelo had a knife on him. If that knife was over 5.5 inches, that is a Class B misdemeanor, meaning that would disqualify him from being able to use this self-defense case in court because he was already technically engaging in criminal activity. Use of force or being able to use self-defense in this case is not justified if the person consented to the force that was used or the person provoked the other person, which in this case, we know that Karmelo Anthony did. He said, hit me and see what happens, or punch me and see what happens. That is inviting the force to be used upon you. Someone's trying to break into your house and you say, come here, I dare you, see what's going to happen. You cannot now use self-defense because you invited them in. Same goes for Karmelo. When he said, punch me and see what happens, he was telling him to do it. He didn't say, don't do it, I have a knife and I will use it on you. Had he said that, then maybe he could have argued self-defense. But when you're inviting it, now that's directly against what is written in the law. It's there in black and white. If you are inviting it or if you are condoning it or consenting to it, now you no longer have a self-defense case. This is where the defense lawyers are going to have to come in and try to twist that around and make it seem like he didn't really mean that. But I mean, if we're going logistical, this is what it is. This is what he said, and this is it's in black and white. There was over 30 witnesses, so it makes sense that somebody would want to puff their chest, but that certainly doesn't sound like somebody who's fearful for their life to me. So if his lawyers can do a good job at twisting this around and somehow proving that in court, then that's on them. But if I was on that jury, yes, he is guilty and he needs to be charged to the fullest extent of the law.
It says, beware of those taking to social media to deliberately spread misinformation, hate, fear, and division, the chief said. Know that there's a false police report going around, and obviously it's false, so it was taken down. But I want to show you the arrest report here, okay? So here's the arrest report detailing what happened. So here is another police officer talking about this. So it says, on Wednesday, April 2nd, 2025, Officer A. Fisher was dispatched to, there's the location in regards to a stabbing. The note stated an athlete had been stabbed in the chest, was unconscious and not breathing. When I arrived, the crime scene was already marked off and a suspect was in custody. I began asking people if they were witnesses to anything. I made contact with Hunter and then someone else, it says here. They were both breathing heavily and crying due to the nature of events. They were with the coaches on the field, and it was pouring down rain. We made the decision to relocate to the locker room just to the east to get out of the rain. Once in there, things calmed a little bit. However, they were still hysterical and could not really talk. In there, I learned Hunter was the brother of the victim. I attempted to ask them both what had happened. I could not really get anything out of Hunter, but Blank stated he wanted to speak. I asked him what happened, and he stated they were all sitting in the bleachers under a Memorial High School tent when another male who did not know walked over and sat under the tent. Then said Austin, the victim, told this male that since he did not go to Memorial, he had to leave the tent. Austin and the male went back and forth, and then Austin stood up and pushed the male to get out of the tent. Blank had said during this time of arguing, the male was reaching around in his bag he had. It was at that time the male took out a knife and stabbed Austin and then left the scene. This was all Blank remembered when he talked to me. After this, I then stood by with 3 athlete witnesses until SID arrived and interviewed them. I was relieved by an SRO and went back to patrol. It looks like there were also some coaches who witnessed the stabbing, and they left statements. So I'm sure that those will be revealed in due time. There is so much going on with this case, and we will continue to cover the truth. I know that there are people who are spreading lies, and we're not going to just stand by and let those people spread lies. And so it looks like we're all out of time. Thank you guys for watching this episode of the Tamera Nealy Show. Thank you for supporting the channel. We're going to continue to post and keep you updated on what's happening in this case. I've never covered a case like this before. Never. But I care about the family. I care about what's happened here. And I want the truth to be told. And so as I discover more about this case, I will share it. I'm one person, so I can only share so much, but I want to share the facts that I'm learning with you guys. And I do this podcast for free. It's free to you. So it's just something that I do because I want to be able to add value and share my values with others. And ultimately, this is about bringing people closer to the truth, closer to God, and sharing the truth, inspiring you to share the truth, inspiring you not to just be a consumer, but a shareholder, to be a contributor, to be somebody who's a part of the solution. I love you guys, and you'll hear from me soon. Thanks for watching.